Hi guys, Mark Devoe. Welcome back to this channel. Welcome to A Conscious Time, where we discuss things navigating this world through the eyes of awareness, so a bird's eye view, which means dropping judgment, dropping guilt, dropping doubt. These will be the biggest pivotal changes that you'll ever have in your life. You can take my word for it, but don't take my word for it. Go out there and experience it for yourself. You are the cause and you will therefore see the effect. These are foundational, pivotal changes that from changing those things, dropping your judgment, dropping guilt and dropping doubt, and realizing you have been given everything by God. That is the core foundation to now build on. So it reminds me, as I'm speaking now, from the quote from the Bible, where it says, seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added to you. This, I believe, is partly what it means. So get that core foundation right, which is knowing that you are perfect in this present moment, created by God, lacking for nothing. And this is pivotal for this video that I am going to be talking about. It will lead on to my next video, which will cross over a little bit now. And the next video is going to be unpacking this a little bit further on a different realm, but similar, if that makes sense. So please wait or have a look out for that when it comes. So let's just jump into it. So this is inspired by my own getting caught in life by trying to control things. So I caught myself getting a little bit anxious and trying to control things. And as I try and control, the more I try to control things, the more anxious I get. And take it from me, I've spent a lifetime, which I've mentioned in some of my videos before, I've spent a lifetime of trying to control things. And it's actually, and this is what actually years ago, which sent me into an absolute ruin or life-changing course or awakening. So it was actually a good thing, because I was in such a dark place from anxiety and stress, and it all came from trying to control all these aspects of life. So I ask you, are you small and little, or are you grand and part of God, being given everything? So you need to really think about those things, either now as I talk or as you walk away. Think about, who are you? These are deep questions, but you need to ask these things. And I'm going to end off this video on two poignant statements from A Course in Miracles. I always mention A Course in Miracles. It's a curriculum. It's a beautiful book beyond words. It's life-changing. I've experienced it, so I can talk from experience that talks about, and I'm going to unpack that. I'm going to end off on two small statements or quotes from that book, which is pretty profound. So just going back to my anxiety and how I was trying to control things, and I caught myself again not too long ago trying to control things, and I thought, I'm way bigger than this. I had to remind myself that I am part of God. So I know this now because I've experienced certain things, and there's only so much that you can BS yourself about and deny these things. But you know, for those that are following this channel, I'm sure you know that as well. For other people, you can maybe verify this or remember or tap into these things where you just know that you are bigger than this little me, myself, and I, Mark or Jane or Jill out there. You are bigger than that. You are bigger than 60, 70, 80, 100 years of a little flash in the pan in this life. And you have to accrue everything through striving and stress and the ego, which we're going to talk about. And then that's it. You know, the flip side is we are part of God, given everything, lacking for nothing in this time frame for a sliver, for a purpose per se, and we are eternal. So you can only believe in one or the other. One is truth, one is the illusion. So again, going back to my, I caught myself being anxious, trying to control things, and it takes a level of courage, faith, awareness, and to remind yourself to live in that faith, to let go the things that you cannot control, whether you're rich or poor. A lot of people experience these things, whether they've got loads of money, some people even more so, and they lose like a couple of million, and they think they're going to never survive. So that's quite funny. So it just depends on the individual as well. It's sometimes for people that are maybe not that well off, that can be as challenging as well. And you have to take a level of courage to let go, to live in that faith and knowing that you have been given everything, because that anxious and controlling is linked to the ego. We've spoken about the ego before, and I take my ego from A Course in Miracles. It's the split in the mind. So it's the false, illusory thought system based on scarcity, death, demise, jealousy, all the negative traits that are illusory, so they are false, and they are juxtaposed or opposite to the mind of God. We're actually sitting with God. We share the mind of God. We are part of God, but most of us are tapping into the fear, egoic mindset, which is actually not real, but we operate in that. And you can see that in our world with most people living in that fear. You're living in that fear, and part of that fear is because of trying to control things, thinking that you have to accrue all these things, thinking it's just you against the world, thinking you are small, thinking you are going to die at every single breath and every single corner that you go around, and you're trying to control all these things. Your mind, on a biological level, it cannot even fathom that, cannot even begin to navigate how to navigate those scenarios of trying to figure out. So you actually have to let go. And that's what I did years ago. Actually, my first tattoo on my arm was let go, because I got to a space where I was trying to control so much stress, anxiety, all that jazz. And I've mentioned this in maybe quite a few videos ago, and I literally had to let go. The most beautiful, profound feeling. So my point, going back to, are you small or are you big? Are you part of God? Beyond big, unfathomable? Yes, you are. So you do not have to control. You can let go. You can allow things to unfold through faith. You can choose the things that you want to do. You can still plan and dream, but align yourself with God, guided by the Holy Spirit. Then it'll be purposeful. Then it'll be in a higher realm. It won't be ego and me, myself, and small, this little sliver of you that's trying to fight and claw for everything that you can try and get, and you're just living in this fear and constant anxiety. So when you feel that, remind yourself, you are bigger than that. You are not a small little speck of dust. You are part of God. So I hope this is making a bit of sense. I think I've actually gone through a lot of things that I wanted to chat about, so that's fantastic. Let's jump into some of those statements from A Course in Miracles, and we'll either end there or we can unpack that a little bit further. And so the first one is, your value is in God's mind, and therefore not in yours alone. To accept yourself as God created you cannot be arrogance, because it is the denial of arrogance. To accept your littleness is arrogant, because it means that you believe your evaluation of yourself is truer than God's. I mean, if that's not profound, uplifting, and the most beautiful thing you've read today or in a long time, and this is taken from A Course in Miracles, it's littered with profundity that has to resonate with you. It either is or it isn't in this point in time. So what that statement is saying, it's arrogant, and this will lead on to my video that I've mentioned that I'm going to put out afterwards. We are that grandeur of God. Anything less is the ego telling you are less. So it's arrogant to think otherwise, because God made you perfectly as you are. So it's arrogant to now think opposed to that, because now you're challenging God, saying God made you less or inferior or weak or whatever the case may be. So when you're having the doubt and you're having the judgments and the guilt, that's the ego. And it's arrogant to think that you have not been given. In this world, it's an upside down way of thinking, changing your perception. And then we'll end off on this last one. So and this is a little bit what I've been talking about now, not to question your littleness, therefore, is to deny all knowledge. And knowledge, what A Course in Miracles talks about, is knowledge of God. And we don't have true knowledge in this realm. But anyway, and let's carry on. And keep the ego's whole thought system intact. So let's read that again. Not to question your littleness, therefore, is to deny all knowledge and keep the ego's whole thought system intact. So what that basically means is, if you aren't actually questioning your littleness, your thought of littleness, then you are keeping that ego's thought system intact, because you are bigger than the ego. You think with God when you drop the ego. So once you question that and align with God, you will eventually tap into that higher knowledge of God. So I hope that makes sense. I think I've ticked all the boxes there. So remember, go out there and every day when you're feeling negative, small, insecure, fearful, anxious, trying to control everything, welcome that and let that remind you to tap back into the grandeur and the gifts and everything that you have been given by God. It's arrogant to not think that. So I hope that adds massive value. And if it does, please like, share, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts, sharings, experiences, and we'll check you on the next one.